All right, and here we are, starting part 3, and we'll start this one where they gave you some answers and ask what is closest to, or which of the following is equal to, the square root of 45. And again, here I'm going to show you some of their answers. They give you 15. B is 5 square roots of 3. Part C is 9 square roots of 5. Part D is 3 square roots of 5. And part E is 3. Okay. Again, some of these things we can get rid of right away. Hopefully you realize that that is the square root of 45. In other words, we are looking for a number that multiplied by itself gives 45. And hopefully you realize that 3 squared is not 45. Okay? And now, I don't care if you know that 15 squared is 225, but hopefully you realize that it's much bigger than 45. Alright. Now, that leaves some of these others to look at. Again, we would be squaring these numbers, or we would be taking the square root of 45 and getting one of these numbers. So we would take one of these numbers and, square it and get 45. Now, 5 squared, 25. Times the square root of 3, that one might be in business. 9 squared is 81 times the square root of 5, which is definitely bigger than 2. So we're looking at something bigger than 162. Yeah, this one's not going to work for us. Now, 3 square roots of 5, we got 9 times the square root of 5, which is, well, that one might be in business too here. But let's think about this. How could I rewrite 45? Well, its factors are 3 and 15, but neither one of those is a perfect square, but 9 times 5 is. Alright? And the square root of 9 is 3. The square root of 5 is the square root of 5. Okay? So, 3 square roots of 5. But now, again, here we were right away, we got rid of 2 answers. Okay, so I got it down to 3. The other thing I would tell you is, I would square these things. I'd put them in your calculator if you weren't sure what to do next. Square them. See what you get. See if you get 45. Right? Because they're telling you to take the square root of 45, find the square root. So you take the square root, square it, you should get 45. Find out which one of those works. And hopefully you can get something close to the right answer. I mean, it's a lot better than just saying I'm going to pick B for every answer on the test. Okay? So, good. Now, moving on to number 2. Let's see. Let's look at my notes here quickly. The measures of angles A, B, and C of a triangle are in the ratio of 3 to 4 to 5. What is the measure in degrees of the largest angle? So in other words, we're back to our friendly triangle. And they like A, B, and C. And they say that the measures of the angles are in a ratio of 3 to 4 to 5. Right, but they don't tell us necessarily what they are. So I'm going to say, well, I don't know what they're multiplying 3 by, what they're multiplying 4 by. So let's be wild and crazy, and I don't know. Let's say we're multiplying them each by x. So 3x plus 4x plus 5x equals 180. Number of degrees in a triangle. So 12x equals 180. Alright. So it kind of looks like if I divide each side by 12 here, and this would be a real good time for somebody to check my arithmetic, right? Because I'm going to go out on a limb. I am going to say that x is equal to 15. Now, while you're checking that, I'm going to check that because, like I said, it's late. 180 divided by 12, oh my gosh, it's 15. So, if x is 15, and they asked us the largest one, well, that would be the 5. 5 times 15 is 75 degrees. And that's how to do that one. They're proportion problems. Remember that unless they're telling you that it's 3 times something or equals something else, if they say they're in a ratio 3 to 4, 4 to 5, and you know the total, throw that x in there. And then you got to just add them up, right? It's 3x, 4x, 5x. There's our ratio, 3, 4, 5. Okay? This is one where it's not a good idea to guess that it's a 30, 60, 90 triangle. Okay? Good. Now, let's take a look at the next one. And here they tell us that if x plus 4y equals 5 and 5x plus 6y equals 7, then 3x plus 5y equals what? Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, this is a system of equations. And basically what we need to do is we need to decide which one of these variables we're going to get rid of. What are we going to solve for? I could multiply the top one by 5 and subtract, but I think our numbers are going to get a little ugly here. So I'm going to try and get rid of the y's. I'm going to take a look at this top one, and I'm going to multiply that by 3. So I'm going to have 3x plus 12y equals 15. Okay? And then I'm going to take the bottom equation, and I'm going to multiply it by 2. And that's going to give me 10x plus 12y equals 14. Okay? So now, if I subtract that bottom equation from the top one, I get 3 minus 10 is negative 7x. 12 minus 12 is 0. 15 minus 14 is 1. So x is equal to negative 1/7. Okay? Oh, yeah. Is that what I like? Do I like that answer? Multiply by 3, 15, 3 times 4 is 12, 3 times 1 is 3, 2 times 5 is 10, 6 is 12, 7 is 14. Yeah, they gave us some crappy numbers. Alright, is that what I want to do? I think that what I might do then is maybe take a look at this top equation and have negative 1/7 plus 4y equals 5. Well, let's see, negative 1/7 plus 4y equals 35 over 7. So if I move that other 1/7, I get 4y equals 36 over 7. And if I divide each side by 4, I get y equals 9 over 7. Oh boy, I don't know that decimals would be any easier. So then I can come back up here. And let's see. 3 times negative 1/7 is negative 3/7. Plus, now, 5 times 9/7 is 45/7. Negative 3 plus 45 is 42 over 7. And we all know that hopefully we all know, 42 divided by 7 is 6. So there's our answer. Yeah, they could have given you numbers that worked out a little bit nicer, but they didn't. So, let's see. Next one we're going to look at is which integer is nearest to the square root of 2100 divided by the square root of 7. Well, let's see. They want integers, so I'm thinking that what we might want to do is see if we could figure out how to get rid of that denominator. Well, 2100. 7 times 300 divided by the square root of 7. Well, square root of 7 times square root of 300 divided by square root of 7. And we got the big giant one. So that becomes the square root of 300. Now, they gave us a listing of integers. And this is the time to pull out your calculator. 300 square root. Well, that's 17.3. Okay. And I would be looking for the integer closest to 17. And they gave you numbers like 3, 30, 43, 150, and 17 is one of them. Hopefully 150 is not your choice. But that is how to do that one, or that's a way to reason through that one. Alright, I think this is going to conclude part 3, and we'll move on to part 4.